Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will discuss network layer. So till now, like physical layer, data link layer are already completed, and this lecture is totally dedicated to network layer. So in network layer, basically, apart from IP version 4 IP addressing, another important point is routing. So we will discuss routing, and under routing, unicast routing is one topic. So basically unicast routing, if you say unicast means we are sending from one sender and we are receiving at one receiver. Okay, so in total we have one sender and one receiver. That is the communication between them is known as unicast communication. Okay, and in another words we call it as one-to-one communication also. Okay, so first we will see this unicast one, and in next section we will see multicast routing also. So unicast routing in the internet with a large number of routers and a huge number of hosts can be done only by using hierarchical routing. Okay, routing in several steps using different routing algorithms, and we will see all those algorithms whatever required for this unicast routing in this lecture. Okay, so first we will take one some general idea what is happening there. So in unicast routing, basically a packet is routed from one hop to another hop. One hop means one node to another node. Okay, so from its source to its destination, or source also will act as a hop with the help of forwarding table. We will see what is this forwarding table. Okay, so the first thing we will discuss about least cost routing. Okay, so before going to this least cost routing, you need to understand that cost or metric is a important point you need to consider when you are communicating your data from one point to another point, or one hop to another hop, or from one source to another some destination. So basically, this cost is assigned for passing the information inside a network. Okay, so I can give you one example for this cost, and like suppose you have one network, okay, which is this network one. You have another network that is network two. You have another network that is network three and network four. So you have these four networks. So basically, if you communicate from one network to another network, there is some cost. Okay, and if I talk about cost, then this cost will be in term of per kilometer also, depending upon which cable you are using. Okay, depending upon which service provider you are using from for communication between one network to another network, and it also depend upon what is your requirement, like if you need high bandwidth, low bandwidth. Okay, what is the physical situation, where the cable is lying. In all those things your cost will be decided. So let's say this the cost of this one is 4, and one more link is there between network 2 to network 4, and the cost is 8. Okay, and let's say one link is there with the cost 2 and one link is there with the cost 4. Okay, so this these are the cost, and with this least cost routing, this is basically you have a weighted graph. Basically we have drawn one graph, and weighted graph means every link having its designated cost. Okay, so we need to find out one of the ways to interpret which is known as best route from source to destination. So in this network also we can call, suppose we are calling source as network 1 and destination as network 4. Okay, so for sending data from the one network 1 to network 4, we have two paths. One path is this one. Okay, from network 1 via network 2 to network 4, and another path is this one. Okay, so from network 1 via network 3 to network 4. And if we see like the cost, like for this upper one, the cost is total cost is 4 plus 8. For this lower one, the total cost is 2 plus 4. Okay, so the upper part having total cost of 12, lower part having total cost of 6. So by these calculation, we know that this lower cost having the lowest cost, the lower path, and this path will be used for communication if our source is network 1 and destination is network 4. Okay, so the preferred path will be uh, via network 3. Okay, because the cost is lowest, and this is what meant by least cost routing. Okay, so next we will have one more example. Okay, so we are taking one practical sort of example where routers, wireless connected or through LAN cable connected. One we are taking one example where the internet means one network is connected in this manner. So what we will do first, we will draw a weighted graph. Okay, and weighted graph means we know that what is the cost between two nodes or two hops. Okay, so the we have drawn one equivalent weighted graph, and this is the weighted graph. Okay, so according to this weighted graph, we need, if we know what is source and what is destination, we need to find out the path with least cost. So now, like here, we are seeing that various symbols are there. So let's say this blue one is the router. Okay, and these are LAN connection. Okay, so whenever we are representing those things in the form of nodes, okay, so we are taking all the routers as a single node, because whatever we are communicating will go through routers. Okay, and the second thing, in least cost algorithm, we need to make least cost tree, and this least cost tree will be with respect to what node you are considering as a source. Okay, so let's say in first case, I'm considering node A as my source. Okay, so if I want to send from node A to node D a data, then my cost will be 3. Okay, if I send it from, okay, let me show all the things. Okay, so this is our network weighted graph. Okay, so if you are at node A, so node A will be 0. Node A to node B cost will be 2. And then you need to, if you want to send to node C, so there are several possible ways. Like you can go from node A to B, then E, then F, then C. But since you are finding least cost tree, so after B, you need to calculate all the possible way, and from that you need to take into consideration the lowest cost. Okay, so this first graph is denoting that I am taking A as my source and other nodes can be my destination. Okay, so if A is my source and D is my destination, so A to D minimum cost will be 3, the direct connectivity. And whatever other connectivities are there, like from A to B, B to E, E to D, or this one, these are having the higher cost with respect to A to D direct connectivity. Okay, so that's why I have written A to D, D3 value here. The same case is with B. Okay, so A to B, the least cost is 2. So I have written 2 here. If my destination is C, source is A, then the least cost will be this 2 plus 5. So for C, my least cost will be 7. If I consider this E, so E I can reach from this path also. From this path it is 5 plus 3. From this path it is 4 plus 2. And 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 3 is 8. So 6 is less than 8. So my least cost is 6. So that's why I've written 6 here. If you want to send your data from A to F, then your least cost will be 6 plus this 2. Okay. Another thing will be 7 plus 4, but 6 plus 2, that is less than 7 plus 4. So that's why I have written 8 here. Okay. And for G, I need to add this 1 again. Okay, so this first graph is representing when my source is at node A or hop A. Okay, and whatever these lines are there, they are known as edge. Okay, so with this weighted graph, I can calculate least cost tree for nodes in the internet for communication between source to destination. So if you talk about like if you take into consideration uh, B point or B node as a source node, so you can have this second diagram as your least cost tree. So similarly, I have drawn all the least cost tree if you consider A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay, as your source point. Okay, and the source point is also known as root of the tree. Okay, because whatever you are making, whatever tree you are making, that is the root. Okay, from there only you are calculating all the least paths. Okay, so this blue one in another term is known as root of the tree. Okay, and all other things apart from node or apart from root is known as intermediate or end node. Intermediate means if it comes in between, or if it is at the end of those trees, it is end node. Okay, and the red one is representing the total cost from root or from source node. So now, after discussing this least cost tree, we will discuss a routing algorithm. So basically, several routing algorithms have been designed in the past. The differences between these methods are in a way they interpret the least cost and the way they create the least cost tree for each node. So in this section, we will discuss common algorithms. So let's say the first algorithm we are discussing as distance vector routing. Okay, so before like starting these algorithms, I need to give you some idea, like we are studying routing protocols. Okay, and routing protocols we can divide in a hierarchical manner. So if I talk about routing protocol, so we can write this writing protocol in a labeled manner or in an hierarchy. Okay, so the first thing is this routing protocol can be divided into two parts. Okay, the first part is inter-domain routing, or the first part is intra-domain, and second part is inter-domain. Okay, inter-domain and intra-domain, let's see what is this. Okay, so basically if you are routing any data from one node to another node, and that is inside one autonomous system, okay, then it is known as intra-domain. And when more than one autonomous systems are there and they are connected with each other, then that type of routing is known as interdomain. Okay, so when you are communicating within an autonomous system, then it is intradomain. Okay, the first one. And when you are communicating between two or more autonomous systems, then it is interdomain routing. So if you talk in detail, we can divide this intra-domain also into two parts. And whatever we are discussing now is intra-domain. Okay, so whatever we are discussing is inside one autonomous system, how we can route our data from one hop to another hop. We are discussing those things. Okay, and later on we will discuss inter-domain also. So let's say like first we will concentrate on intra-domain. So intra-domain can be divided into two parts. One is distance vector, another one is link vector or link state. Okay, and this distance vector having some protocols, one is RIP. Okay, this link state having some protocol, one famous is OSPF. Okay, in a similar manner, if I categorize this interdomain also, interdomain we can categorize as path vector, and inside this path vector, one protocol which is BGP, that is border gateway protocol, is one famous thing, one famous protocol or one important protocol we will study. So we will see all the things one by one. So the first thing we will discuss will be distance vector routing. Okay. So in distance vector routing, basically what will happen on each node of that network will create its own least cost tree. Okay, and for creating that least cost tree, they will share information with each other, and we can say that in distance vector routing, our router continuously tells all of its neighbor what is known about the whole internet. Okay, so we will see how this distance vector routing will work. So the first thing we will understand is Bellman-Ford equation or Bellman-Ford algorithm. So in this Bellman-Ford algorithm, he told that if you have one source that is X and one destination that is Y, and you have some intermediate hops, then there will be some cost for going from source to some intermediate hop and some intermediate hop to destination. Okay, and there will always be a path which is of minimum cost. Okay, so if you take into consideration of this graph, there will be always one path. Like if you see your first path, then you are going from X to A and A to Y, so your total cost for this X to A is CXA, and for A to Y, that is DAY. So there will be some, if you add C and D, so there will be some path whose cost will be lowest. Okay, so if you calculate, so there will be some path that is dxy from directly from X to Y, which is the lowest, which is having the lowest cost. Okay, so this theory or this interpretation is given by Bellman Ford. So now we will see like how this distance vector correspond to a tree. Okay, so here we are having, here we are taking first picture into consideration, and in this first picture you can see that you are having all the nodes, and all the nodes having their cost with relative to your root hop, which is A. Okay, so the cost of A to A will be, so these are your destination, this is your source. So from A to A it is 0, A to B it is 2, A to C it is 7, A to D it is 3, A to E it is 6, A to F it is 8, A to G it is 9. Okay, so this is one distance vector. Okay, so you have one matrix, okay, which is known as distance vector, and the thing, this thing you have like represented when you are considering A as your source node. So in a similar manner, like every node having its distance vector. So if I consider this diagram, whatever we have seen previously, so A having its own distance vector, B having its own distance vector. Okay, so why I'm writing infinity? Because whenever you are writing distance vector, this previous one is overall. Okay, we will see how we are getting this overall one. Okay, so before this one, like all nodes, they know their neighbors only. Okay, so if I see this A distance vector, this is first distance vector, so A knows that the distance of A to A is 0. A knows that it is connected with B and the distance between A and B is 2. A knows that it is not connected with C. If it is not connected with C directly, then the distance or the cost of A to C will be infinity. Okay. Then A knows that it is directly connected with D and the cost is 3. A knows that it is not connected with E, neither F, neither G. So the cost of connection from A to E, F, and G in the first distance vector is infinity. Okay. In a similar manner, B having its own first distance vector, C having its own first distance vector, D having its own, E having its own, F and G. Okay. Now we will see how they will communicate their data with each other. Okay. So what will happen, like if I talk about A as a source. Okay. So A will transfer its data to B. Okay, so B having its own table, okay, which is initial vector. Okay, what it will do, it will take into consideration of this calculation, like it will consider minimum of whatever value of B, and B is nothing but A plus 2. A plus 2 is B. Okay, so B will at B, like the table will update according to this formula. So B or A plus 2, whatever minimum will be there, will be the new B. Okay, new B table. And that B table, after upgradation of this B table, the whole C table will update. After updation of the C table, D table will update, then E table will update, then F table will update, and G table will update, and all the tables will update accordingly. Okay, so we will see first thing, like see here, it is 2. Okay, and A to A distance is 0. Okay, so new B will be this 2 comma 2 plus 0, and both are 2, so we are writing here 2. Second, here it is 0 and here it is 2. Okay, so 0 comma 2 plus 2, that is 4, and 0 and 4, I know that 0 is minimum, so here I have written 0. The C1 is 5 and here it is infinity. 5 comma 2 plus infinity. 5 is minimum, so here I have updated 5. This is infinity. Infinity comma 2 plus 3. Okay, 2 plus 3 is 5. So I have updated 5 here. 5 is minimum. Okay, so in this way, like this B table will be updated to new B. Okay, so now after upgradation, what will happen, that B knows that what is the distance of B to A, B to B, B to C, B to D, and B to F, sorry, B to E. But B is not having the information about F and G. F and G. Okay, so till this point, first upgradation, B having all the information about A, B, C, D, E. Now we will go for second upgradation. Okay, so second upgradation will be old B, and we have old E also. E having its own table. So A already shared its table with B. Now E will share its table with B. Okay, and we know that distance between B and E is 4. That's why we have taken into consideration of minimum of B comma 4 plus E. Okay, so E will share its table with B. So the same thing we will do. We will write this and 4 plus this, and whatever minimum will be there will be updated to new routing table of B. Okay. So now after upgradation, B knows that what is the distance between of A, B, C, D, E, F from B, and after this C will share its information with B. Okay, and this G will share its information with C. F will share information with G. F will share information with C, and after all those calculations, B will share its information with A, and finally, after calculating all those things, you will get this table for A. Okay. Similarly, you will get one more table for B, and you will get one more table for C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So this, the method, what you are seeing is known as distance vector routing. Okay. So you are calculating distance vector. So after this, and if you want to write command, so this is the command which routers are using if they are following distance vector routing. So this is the algorithm. Okay, so in distance vector routing, uh, there is one problem, that is count to infinity problem. And when we talk a proper distance vector routing, then there is one thing that the cost is normally hop to hop count. Okay, means if I am having two hops, means if I am having hops and edge, so if this is our root hop, then the distance of this to this is 0, and this is the cost of this edge is 1, and reaching to this point will cost 1, reaching to this point will cost 2, reaching to this point will cost 3, and so on. So we are basically dealing with the cost which is normally hop count. Okay, and each router needs to upgrade its routing table asynchronously. Okay, there is no synchronization here. And after update, the result will send to all its neighbor. Okay, each router will keep three pieces of information. One is destination. Okay, so one is destination, another is cost, and another is next hop. Okay, and like whenever they are passing their information, so two pieces of information is received via update. Okay, so this is the main thing in distance vector routing, and now we will see one problem in distance vector routing, and the problem is count to infinity problem. Okay, so for this count to infinity problem explanation, we are taking two node into consideration. Okay, so one is A, another is B, and because we are talking about this distance vector routing, we are normally taking hop to hop count. So one hop is node A or router A, another hop is router B, and their hop to hop distance is 1. Okay, let's say their hop to hop distance is 1. So now my source is X. Okay, so this X distance from this A is 1, the distance of A and B is 1. Okay, so this router having three information. One is what is destination. So let's say X is destination. Okay, another one is what is cost. So cost is 1 because A is directly connected to this X, and one is what is next hop. So basically A is directly connected to X, so the next hop is A. Okay, so if A want to send to X, the cost will be 1. Similarly, B having the information that if B want to send data to destination X having the total cost of two, one for this and one for this. Okay, one for this one and one for this one. Now, what will happen is node instability will occur when link will fail. Suppose this link between X and A is failed now. Okay, so when it will fail, so basically this in place of 16 I will tell you why I am writing 16. This will be infinity. Okay, and if you consider 16 also, it's okay. Okay, and this table will change like X 16 or infinity A, and here it is X2. Now this B will share its information with A, and when B will share information with A, then because B knows that X is connected at two cost distance or with a two cost uh, uh, via A, okay, it will transfer its information to this A, and when it will transfer, the A will update its table that okay, X is connected via A, and one more cost it will add because it is transferring or it is sharing its data. B is sharing its data with this next neighbor. Okay, and when it will share again, so the table of B will automatically update. So B will having the value of 4, and this process will continue. This 4, then it will, this 4 will be here, then 5 will be here, 5 will be here, 6 will be here, 6 will be here, till it will reach to a point of saturation, that is infinity. Infinity means A is not connected with X and B is not connected with X. Okay, but this process will take time. Okay, this, due to this one, this due to this time taking process, we are calling it as two node instability or cost to infinity problem. Okay, and this is a very serious problem because there may be so much of delay because of continuous disconnection or detachment of destination from that network. Okay, and we can remove this problem also. So for removal of this problem, there are two ways. Okay, so first way is defining infinity. Okay, if you are not defining infinity, infinity is a very large number. If you are saying in this way, this will repeat and keep on repeating, you will never get instability. So for removing this instability, we are defining infinity as a limit of 16. Means whenever any destination or whenever any link will disconnect, uh, we will call that disconnected cost as 16. Okay, so maximum hop to hop distance we will counter as 16. Okay, to remove this instability. And second one is we can split the horizon also. Like splitting of horizon means we will share the routing table with neighbors. Like each hop will share its routing table with neighbor, but it will not share this last point. Okay, that is A. Okay, if it is sharing only x and 3, x and 2, all those things. Okay, so like the the point when it reached to 16 hop to hop distance will be, the time will be very less. Okay, and stability will be there within a very few millisecond or microsecond. Okay, so this is one important point, that in distance vector routing there may be a case of cost to infinity problem on two node instability if destination is connecting again or disconnecting again and again. Okay, disconnecting means disconnecting from network. Okay, and to remove this cost to infinity problem, we are fixing that maximum hop for communication will be 16, and we are splitting the horizon. We are not sharing all the three things, that is destination, cost and hop, and we are sharing only destination and cost, right? We are not sharing what is the next hop it is connected with. Okay, so there are two possible ways to remove this instability. The next thing which we will see is link state routing protocol. Okay, so previously I explained you that intra-domain is divided into two parts. One is distance vector, another is link state. So the next one is link state routing. Link state routing. So basically in link state routing, we will build routing table. So the first step we need to do is we need to follow Dijkstra algorithm. So Dijkstra algorithm is basically for link state routing protocol. And if if we take one example, so this is one network. So for this, uh, we need to build link state database. Okay. So for building of link state database, we already know the cost of each uh, cost between each hubs. So like node A having information like it is connected with B and D having cost of 2 and 3, node B having information, node C having information, node D, E, F and G, they all are having information of their neighbors. So what we need to do is we need to form, or we need to find out a shortest tree path or shortest path tree for each node. So the same thing we have done earlier also, and with that shortest tree path, we need to calculate a matrix, and that matrix will be helpful for creation of LSR protocol, link state routing protocol. So what we need to do first is we need to find out least cost tree. So the least cost tree, if A is taken as source, will be this. So this is the method by which we can find out the least cost tree if A is taken as source. So we need to calculate step by step by going to next hop, and we need to calculate least cost, and finally we need to have all the destination except our root hop. Then we need to find out a spanning tree. Spanning tree is nothing uh, but a vector, like this is our internet. So basically, if we are considering A as a root hop, then this is the spanning tree. If we are considering B, then this will be the architecture of spanning tree for C, for D, for E. Okay, these are the spanning trees, and then we need to calculate the link state database. Okay, link state database, or LSDB in short. So this link state database is a matrix having source and destination with their cost. So if we take this one as a destination and upper one as a source, so this matrix is denoting cost. So we can see that if we our source and destination are A, then my cost is 0. If my source is A and destination is B, okay, so my cost is 2. And if it is not connected directly with my source, then my cost will be infinite. Okay, so A is directly connected with 3 with D with the cost of 3. Okay, so here you can see that. So overall you need to find out this matrix, and this matrix is known as link state database. So this is the way by which link state routing protocol will be followed. And after that we will see inter-domain routing. And inter-domain routing is basically followed by path vector. So the next thing we will see is path vector routing, and this path vector routing is basically an inter-domain uh, routing protocol. So it is an exterior routing protocol proved to be useful for inter-domain, or when you have various networks. So basically when you want to communicate between those networks, this path vector routing will be useful then. So in this routing, a router has list of networks that can be reached with the help of path to reach other one. So basically it is giving or assigning paths. Okay, so in this one, routing table will be in the form of path. So a path vector routing table for each router can be created if paths will be shared between them. Okay, so uh, we will see like how their paths are assigned for different hops. Okay, so let's take one example, this example of a network. And if you see clearly, like there are vectors. Okay, those path vectors are there, and these path vectors are basically denoting that if you are at A, so let's take considering you are at A. So A is source, and if A is destination, so this one is source. Okay, this one is destination from A, and for this destination what path you need to follow is this one. Okay, so if you are at A and if you want to go to destination A, you need not to go to any path, that is you need to follow A only. Okay, but if you want to go to B, then your path will be A to B. Okay, same if I'm at B, B is the source, then if A is my destination, then I need to follow B to A, this vector. Okay, if I want to go to C, then I need to follow B to C, BC. If I want to go to D, I need to follow BD. So this is the path vector table for B. Okay, so this is the initial table. Then we will see how they will share their tables with each other. Okay, and how the path will be updated at all the hops. Okay, so if you are at C, so if you want to reach to B, the path will be CV, this vector, and if you want to reach at E from C, then your vector will be this, that is CE. Okay, so you can have this table for all your hops, and if you want to update your path, so let's take consideration of B and C. Okay, this B and C. So if you want to, if suppose this B and C are sharing data, then the way they will share data will be the new C will be best path of C plus C plus B. So let's take consideration of the first one. Okay, A. So here you have nothing. Okay, nothing or C plus BA. So you will get CBA. The path will be CBA. Okay. In the second row, you have CB. So here you can write C comma B comma C plus B. Again, you have CB both sides. So best path will be CB. If you take consideration of the third row, then here it is C comma C plus BC is C plus CB. Okay, and the best path between C and CB is C. Okay, because that is the shortest one. If you go to this fourth column, you have CD, so you will write C comma D comma CBD. Okay, so CD and CBD best path will be CD. Okay, two elements. Okay, you need not to go through many number of hops. If you go to last row, that is CE, and here is nothing, C plus nothing, so that is C, and between CE and C plus that is infinite actually, C plus infinite, the best path will be CE. Okay, so this is CE. So in this way you can update your table by sharing information. In this case, B is sharing information with C. Okay, so it's the same thing you can do, like in this case D is sharing information with C, so you will get new value of routing table or routing paths in hop number C. So in this way, we have seen routing protocols which are divided into two parts. One is intra-domain, another one is inter-domain. So whenever you are having autonomous system more than one, and those autonomous systems they are interacting with each other, so basically that is inter-domain. So inter-domain is basically when exterior autonomous systems are there, and whenever you are communicating within one autonomous system, then that is intra-domain. And we have seen that for intra-domain, distance vector routing protocol will be there, and link state routing protocol will be there. For inter-domain, path vector routing protocol will be there. And for this path vector routing protocol, if you want to write code, then this will be your code for upgradation of routing table of different hops used inside a network. Thank you.